When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, on the bottom, you want shelter, then you want food. And as you go up the hierarchy of needs, and when you create financial freedom, then suddenly you got a need to contribute as well.
What if every time business was done, something great happens in the world? That sort of thing. She said, imagine every time we bought a cup of coffee, a child in need got access to life-saving water. Just imagine that.
The problem is, I guess one of the big challenges is when people ask for money to donate, well, one, it's not something you're particularly connected to. And two, you don't know if they're not taking 90% of the money. Because I want to know that my money is doing good and not making some rich CEO money. That's the big question. Okay, hello and welcome to George Markoski's Positive Property Show. And welcome. I've got Paul Dunn here from B1G1. Hello, Paul, welcome.
Thank you, George. Great to be here on a wonderful day in Singapore.
Absolutely. We always talk about, make money out of property. We talk about investing, compounding interest, and strategy around that. Yeah. We talk a lot about this, and I talk about this week in, week out, and give lots of value.
I know you do, and you do it very well too.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. And what I want to do today is talk about, because a lot of people say, George, what about when you've done it all? What do you do? And what a lot of people are thinking when they're saying that is they're thinking, okay, how do I retire? How do I structure? What do I do with my money and everything else like that? And we can talk about that. But the other thing I want to talk about today is another part of life, and that's called giving back. I really think when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, on the bottom, you want shelter, then you want food. And as you go up the hierarchy of needs, and when you create financial freedom, then suddenly you got a need to contribute as well. And Paul, I've known you for quite a long time. I met you in Sydney, back in
2000? It's been a while.
I think it was like 18 or 19, something like that. It's like
something like that.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years. I met you up on stage. You were talking in front of a very successful group of business people. Yeah. They flew in from Singapore to talk about that. Yeah. And when you talked about B1G1, I thought, this is awesome. And I came to talk to you straight after and said, I want to do this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And since then, since 8 or 9 years ago, we've been doing different things, different projects. And the main project we're doing at the moment with you is helping build schools in Cambodia.
Yeah.
And basically, every time someone joins our program, we buy 200 bricks. And when they settle, we buy another 200 bricks to help build a school in Cambodia. So that's very exciting.
It is. And it makes a real difference, as you will see.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about B1G1, the big concept of it all. It's quite a unique concept that you've come up with. I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you very much. And let me again thank everybody here on the call for being here. It's a great privilege to be here. And George, I'm sure that everybody on the call has something like, a moment in their life, right, when things kind of shift for them. Maybe we have lots of moments, actually. And someone once said to me that, where we're at in our business and our life is really all about our reaction to the various moments that have happened at that point, right? So I want to just quickly let you know about something that happened to me in 2007, if I can do that, George. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Okay. So what happened, I had been, as George said, mentoring people and all of those kind of things for a long, long time. And there was one particular person that I was mentoring who was this tiny little Japanese lady. And she had a food business, which was before its time in some way. It was all about takeaway food before we even knew that we could do, takeaway food, right? And it was gluten-free stuff and everything. And the business was going kind of okay. Anyway, so one day in June in 2007, so I'm sitting in this room and she comes in and she looks like she's sort of a bit disheveled because she's been thinking about things. And she says to me, Paul, in this lovely Japanese accent, she says, Paul, can we do something different today? And I said, sure. What do you have in mind? And she said, well, you're my mentor, and so you always ask me the questions, and so I wonder if we can change it around so I ask you the question. So I said, sure, go. And her first question was this, George. She said, what if we could do something whereby every time business is done, something great happens in our world? And I thought, well, that'd be pretty good. And so I said, tell me more. She said, well, I've given it a name in my head. And I said, okay, what have you called it? She says, it's called Buy One, Give One. And I said, okay, so how would that work? And she literally said this. She said, imagine you wanted to get a plasma TV and you go down to Harvey Norman. She literally said that. And
Mhm.
you want to buy, and I said, woo, 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 Miss Honey. What did you call this thing? But buy one, give one? I said, Miss Honey, I know a lot about business models, but that doesn't seem like a very good one to me because if I go down to buy a plasma TV, they're not going to give me another one. She said, "Oh,
Yeah.
you misunderstand." And I said, "Okay, help me understand." And she said, "Well, you go down and buy that plasma TV on account of how you want more pixels, brighter pixels, all of that sort of thing." And then this was the moment. And she said, "So how would it be if when you did that, someone who could not see got the gift of sight?" And I went, "Oh." Whoa. Be, I'm absolutely gobsmacked by that,
What a
and
concept. What a concept.
exactly, and I had I had books all around me, and I had a cup of coffee with me. I've got a glass of water today, but I had a cup of coffee around me then, and she said, because she could see my reaction, what if every time business was done, something great happens in the world, that sort of thing. And she said, she pointed to the cup of coffee. She said, imagine every time we bought a cup of coffee, a child in need got access to life-saving water. Just imagine that. And
Mhm.
then I'm surrounded by books, and she said, "Well, what if whenever an author writes a chapter, a tree gets planted?" And that was when I said, Masami, can I be your mentor for the rest of your life? And
Wow.
so it's
And
that
you
kind
did
of.
become her
I did, yeah, I
you
did,
did.
and that was the beginning of B1G1, and we quickly changed it to B1G1 because sort of buy one give one was a little bit sort of commercial. You had to
Yeah,
sort of go do
B1G1
something like that.
it's good.
Exactly, but why couldn't you do it every time you had a good meeting? Why couldn't you do it every time you did something great at home? Why couldn't your kids do it every time they stacked the dishwasher? Why couldn't, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera.
What a
And
great idea. I love it. It's such a simple concept,
yeah, isn't it?
but powerful because you need one person to actually think of the idea first.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
hearing it's simple, but thinking of it's hard. And
That's
that's the beauty of great ideas, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's exactly right. And by the way, sometimes we say to ourselves things like, one day when I'm, successful or whatever it is, one day when I'm this, then I'll do
mhm.
that, right? Whatever that is. And I'm not
Yep.
sure whether you've noticed this, but the one day never comes, right?
I, I I totally agree. And funny enough, with charity, what I started with is when I did Anthony Robbins Unleash the Power Within. I heard about him and how he fed all these families,
Yeah.
and I thought I'm going to do this, and I started doing that in Adelaide, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So every Christmas, off my own back. It is a lot of effort doing it yourself. And I've done a lot of different charities. I've helped with children with needs. And I was also president of the I Play Sport, so people with visual impairment. So I was
Yeah.
president of that organization for a while. And
Yeah.
being president's a lot of effort because you got to do board meetings, everything else like that. It's very rewarding, but it's a lot of time. And then when I met you with the B1G1, you've made charity easy,
Well, yeah, and
right?
thank you.
And you
Thank
have,
you.
and you've made charity easy because the problem is, I guess one of the big challenges is when people ask for money to donate, well, one, it's not something you're particularly connected to, and two, you don't know if they're not taking 90% of the money, which a lot of them are. And I'd like to get some stats on that because I want to know that my money is doing good and
Yeah.
not making some
Yeah.
rich CEO money. That's the big question.
Oh,
100% of the money that you actually give goes to the cause that you want. And that's very unusual because there's a lot of companies out there where you only a very small fraction, a small percentage goes there. And literally, a lot of these companies are made there just to make money for a big organization. And that's the difference. I suppose that's the most important thing.
and the fact that 100% of in B1G1 your giving goes fully 100%. We take nothing from it, and the model allows us to do that. And not only that, but instead of waiting for one day, what if you could do things for tiny amounts of money? Like, for example, just because you're all here today, for every single one of you that's here, 6 kids are getting access to game-changing education. Just
Oh, really? There you
because,
go.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
because they're
yeah.
here. Exactly. That's
Ju-
fantastic.
Just because you're here. Yeah.
And the thing is, there's a lot of selfless reasons to it,
Yeah.
charity. There's also some really good selfish reasons. if you look at happiness, right? And this is interesting. They did this thing, and I don't know the stats, but they had these university students where they gave them money and they gave two groups. One group, you could spend it on yourself. The other group, you had to spend it on someone. And guess who was
Yeah.
happier at the end of that test? And I think they
Yeah.
gave them only $20. But the people that actually spent money on someone else, that $20, got a lot more joy out of it than the people that spent it on themselves.
It's true. This is exactly 100% what happened. In fact, we say, George, it's interesting you said that because we say that the whole purpose of B1G1 is to bring joy, to create in your business one of the most joyful things that you have ever created. And it should be driven by that, And by the way, it's interesting in the sense that, today, as I'm sitting behind all of these things, we crossed 393 million.
$393 million.
393 million impacts.
Impacts. Oh, right. Okay, impacts.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, can you explain to people what an impact is?
Yes, an impact could be when you plant a tree. An impact could be when a
You buy a
child
brick.
gets that. Yeah, when you buy a brick, exactly.
I
And,
know
and
because
you,
that's what I buy. I buy
that's what you
bricks.
do, and you've done 29,000 of them, which is like incredible. Yeah, it could be, when a kid gets access to water. And what's good, as you know, George, we track every single one of these impacts and so on, so you can see where they're happening. And by the way, the good news today is not only can you see where your bricks are happening.
Mhm.
I want to show you something because one of the things we sometimes don't understand is the ripple effect as to what happens,
Mhm.
And later on today, we'll talk about that later on. And also later on today, you'll get to meet with someone who's actually on the ground in Cambodia, actually making it happen as well.
Yes,
So
and I was really keen to do that because that's
yeah, you
important.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it works. And actually, let me just show you something else which gets into why this is so important. Now, on your screen, you'll see somebody who at least you know a little bit about. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Steve
This
Jobs, yeah.
is Steve Jobs, right? And George, you mentioned this word before, and we'll get to it. He said this, the storyteller, and by the way, we're all storytellers, right? The storyteller and we're story creators. We're actually creating, you and I, we're creating better stories for our lives and the lives of people we're privileged to serve all along. So he said, the storyteller sets the vision, the values, and the agenda for an entire generation yet to come. Now,
Mhm.
when you get that for an entire generation yet to come, you get something really interesting. And what you get is this is sometimes hard to get. It's about something bigger than you, right?
Yes,
It's something bigger than
exactly,
you.
exactly.
Exactly. And one of the things that generally expresses that is this whole thing called legacy. And I know, George, on account of how, when you buy the properties and everything, all of that sort of thing, this is kind of like what it creates. And thanks to George being a part of B1G1, you're adding other things to the legacy. But let me just give you something I learnt a couple of days ago, actually, when I was talking with someone. And one thing we think about legacy is that legacy is something we leave. We talk about leaving a legacy. But
Mhm.
what if, and we all think about it too late, right? We really do. But,
Yep,
but what if, let me show you this definition of legacy. Legacy is not what you leave behind, it's what you set in motion.
I love it. I love it.
Isn't that cool?
Right.
And that's, of course, what you're doing with George and everything else. But what's also interesting is instead of just thinking about it as something we leave behind, what if, and George is helping you do this, what if it was actually about living the legacy every day?
Mhm.
What if it was? And B1G1, of course, allows you to do that because it's so tiny, those little impacts that you make, so
You can
tiny that
do
you can do it every
tiny,
day. Exactly.
regular impacts, and we do it every week, and it accumulates.
Exactly. There you
And
go.
29,000. I didn't expect that many, so like it just happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well,
Yep.
you could pinch me. I mean, when we started this, I could never think of 393 million. So,
Yeah, I know. Like
and,
that 393
and
million. That is
yeah,
such a big amount of impacts that you get
isn't
to
it?
run.
Well, and we think of every single one of those, and indeed your bricks are part of this. we think of every single one of those as a smile. And by the way, let's just go through this, living it
Yeah,
and leveraging
please.
it, right? And why are you doing it? Because it's got to be bigger than you. So it's for an entire generation yet to come. Or to put that another way, it's for your children and your children's children. And when you think about it, we mentioned this word joy earlier on. What a joyful journey that would be. In fact, what a joyful journey it is, right?
It is.
And you're about to see some evidence of that. So I wanted to show you what your bricks are doing.
Yes.
And one of the
And
things,
I want our clients to have a look at this, our members, because this is your bricks. This is what your
yeah,
bricks are doing. Every
yeah.
one of you.
Now, yeah, you can see what that is. Well, hopefully you can see what it is. It's a toilet, right?
Yes.
Now you got to understand the kids who go to this school, the schools that you're putting all the bricks in, they love this thing. Why? Because when the government builds schools and all that kind of thing, they don't build these things. And have a guess where the young girls go to the loo. It's
Where?
certainly not in one of those. So
Yeah.
that's really important thing.
Of course, it
And
would be.
have a look what else happens, right? This is what they call the school hut, where the kids are getting together underneath a nice tree and all of that sort of thing. And what's really important is to understand is that you are making this happen. And
Yeah.
you know, look at this. This is like the welcome thing, the bricks up on the top there, so it feels really good. This is one that you've done in the high school there. And you know, you want to make sure that even that little thing around the side there, right, takes bricks. And so that's all part of your bricks right there. And even this is the incinerator, right? It's not some welcoming thing. It takes bricks to do that. The fence all around these schools are done with bricks. And you know, there's the hand washing area that you saw alongside the toilet before, and there's the dormitory for some of the kids that stay over. So this may not mean very much to you, right? But to the kids who get to go there, this is immense. And what I want to do, George, if it's okay, is take you inside
Yes.
one of the classrooms, which could be used as a little area to film something. And you probably don't realize the ripple effect of all of this, right? Have a look at this. You may need some tissues as you watch this. And bear in mind that none of what you hear or experience could have happened without your bricks. Okay, just bear that in mind. So here she comes.
Would like to say thank you to teacher, B1G1 team, and all my friends. After my mother passed away, nobody support me to study. I really feel thankful for the scholarship, so I have the chance to study. I promise that I will try to study to achieve my goal, and I will commit to help my family and all the people in my country. Thank you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Wow, lovely.
I hope you got the message. And the message is that those tiny little things that you do, enabled through what George and the team are doing, you think it's about bricks, right? Because that's what's actually happening, right?
Yep.
But it's not. It's actually about changing lives in the process, you know. And I guess you know, I'm one of the lucky guys who gets to, you know, yes, make it happen, but at the same time see some of the things. And that's why we talk about 393 million smiles. By the way, just so that you know, we are on the way to 1 billion smiles. And George, I'm going to give you something that I didn't tell you about. Are you okay if I tell you about something that you don't know about yet? It's like a sort of a state secret. One of the things when we started this in 2007, we started it, as George will tell you, for businesses. And so, you know, George is one of the people who runs a business which is correctly called a business for good. And there are thousands of these, thankfully, businesses for good around the world. And then last year, we were in London and talking with someone who I mentor, and some of you would know his name. That's Daniel Priestley. And Dan said something around, you know what? I think my kids would love to do this as well. That was almost exactly a year ago. And so we thought about that and said, you know what, that's a really good idea. And particularly because some of the teachers in schools are actually B1G1 themselves, and we can see how they do it. So it's sort of like an official, unofficial announcement for all
Really?
of you.
How's that going to work?
And that is that in 7 days, I think it is now, you will have the option or the opportunity, I should say, to grab yourselves, and there's all sorts of ways you can do it, but you can also do it for free as well, but which is great. But what we will do is we will let George know, and then he will let you know, because there is now the B1G1 family program. And so what you can do is you can set up like activation. So you can say, when Sally, and your kids can have, separate little labels like that. And when Sally stacks the dishwasher, 3 kids get access to life-saving water. When this happens, this happens. So you're able to do that.
That's a great way to motivate your kids.
Isn't it?
I love it. I love it. I love it. And also to teach them charity. Because really at the end of the day, they say, happiness comes from gratefulness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people say, well, nothing's good in my life, so I can't be grateful. But you got to be grateful first, and then good comes, right?
Exactly.
And it's a bit like giving back is very similar, because you're never going to be ready, right?
Never.
But you need to be ready and just do something, because that's what it's about.
And interestingly, some B1G1 members along the way decided, there's a lady in Melbourne who actually decided she would do this as a business, but now she's going to be doing it as a family. So she said to me, I remember her name is Linda, she said, Paul, do you know what teenage boys do in the toilet? I've never, that's what she asked me. I said, I have never been asked that question before in my life. And so what do you mean? She said, well, as you know, I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. And she said, the first thing they do is when they go to the loo, to the toilet, they take their phones with them. And I'm thinking, well, I do that too. That doesn't.
Everyone takes their phone to the toilet, don't they? Otherwise, how boring.
That's not a bad thing. And she said, but I want to teach my kids to be grateful for that. So what she did, and George, in B1G1, you can create these QR codes, right? So now, literally as you are sitting there on top, she's got this big QR code, and it says, when you click it, it says you're sitting there not realizing that there are 730 billion, actually it's more than that, 730 million people who do not have the luxury to sit on a toilet right now. And so scan that code, and then a little giving happens, right? Every time they go to the loo, something great happens.
Yes.
I'm serious.
The thing is, people don't realize how important toilets are for hygiene.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people that don't have toilets, they get a lot of disease, and it's really bad.
So you guys are doing great things. And you remember I said that you would have the opportunity to meet someone we know very well. He is the deputy director of TLC. TLC means This Life Cambodia. And Sai, you may want to tell people why your operation, why your charity is actually called This Life Cambodia. So guys, just do this or whatever. And this is
okay.
Sai.
Let's get him on board. Okay.
Hi everyone. Hi Paul. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to B1G1 community. So specifically about This Life Cambodia. It was found on a simple but powerful belief that change must happen in this life, not next life. Early on, when we asked communities what they hope for their future, for their children's future specifically, and many said the next life. And one particular boy who already dropped out from schools, and he told us that next life he wanted to be a doctor. That moment actually stayed with us, and it is why we've called This Life Cambodia, because children should not have to wait for another life to realize their potentials.
Agreed. Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved in this for?
So I've been with the organization as a first staff employed. It's since 2008. So I stopped counting how many years now.
Wow, long time, long time.
And love the organization, love the mission, and really see the great impact that we're doing every day. And a bit about my personal life, really. I mean, like seeing those children in a rural community, just every day is reflecting on the life that I've gone through post, civil wars in Cambodia. So we still see those situations as now, as a country, even progress further. So
Yes, unfortunately, Cambodia's had quite the checkered past and
Oh,
very
my
tough.
goodness.
I went to Cambodia a while ago, probably about 10 years ago, and I fell in love with the country. It is such
Oh,
a
it's wonderful.
beautiful country, a lot of beautiful people. Angkor Wat and those temples are just the most amazing place on earth.
I heard Little Bird tell me that some of your people might have the opportunity to actually go and experience that. But that's another
Well, yes, yes.
whole other
That's
day.
what I was that's what I was gonna talk about because
Oh,
each year, what we do is we get together for 2 days of property education, and then on the third day we have a fun day where we do something fun. So, for example, last year we went to Bali. We did 2 days of education. Then we went to the zoo, safari. Went on a bus, and we had lions and tigers jumping on top of our cage. We had dinner with them and everything. This year we're going to Gold Coast, and I've hired a super yacht for everyone. And that's all exciting and fun because a lot of people haven't been on a super yacht. But next year we're going to do something a lot more fun, and we want to go to Cambodia.
there you go. So
We're going to go to Cambodia, and we're going to build a school. Okay.
Yes.
So on the Sunday, we're going to do that instead. And
there you
so,
go.
Sa, Chin, we're going to have a lot of people there, a lot of hands to help. But I really want us to physically get involved and actually do it ourselves, right? I'm going to help finance it all, but I want people to come in and work it. Can we do that?
Definitely, we can do that. And I can definitely tell that what we're gonna consult with communities and identify what projects and infrastructures that they need, and especially those that the schools that we worked with as well. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
One of the great things, George, one of the great things about Sai and the people who run TLC, the work they do starts from an incredible depth of consultation with the people in need. So they don't come along and impose something. It's like, but they also do. I mean, as well as the schools, which we had a look at. I think you don't say we did a quick tour through all of the great things you're doing, but they also don't take stuff lying down. What I mean by that is that in Cambodia, for example, there's no such thing as a teenage jail, or a young person's jail. So if you were a person whose family was in need of food and you did the wrong thing, right? You stole an egg from the tuck shop or something, then you would end up in an adult jail. And
wow.
Seriously. But these guys, the society, you see that, and they have these amazing programs, right? So where you work with the young people and teach them how to fix motorbikes and all of this kind of stuff, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. And they have 100% recidivism, meaning once these guys get to them, the kids don't go back.
Oh, really?
Into
Wow,
jail.
that's
No,
100%. That's amazing.
100%.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you would know that it's not easy to go and talk with governments and say to them,
not easy at all, no.
And say to them, hey, this isn't right. We need to fix that. And Billy and Sai and the people there have been doing some extraordinary work. And they've won, I also should tell you, Sai would be too embarrassed over, they've won lots of international awards for the way in which they've done that. So they're not just sort of putting up with what's there, they're actually going to try and change that as well. So, when you go, George, these guys, they're amazing.
That's great, because what I'm planning on doing, and I'll just read some of the comments, right, of people, and they've said, yay, we're in, I'll be there, cool, we're in. So they're very positive about it. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a bit of a next October when we get together is do a big campaign to raise
Yep.
funds,
Yep.
pick a really cool project, and
Yep.
then say, I'm going to be communicating with you with the numbers because I expect 50 to 100 people. And we're going to get in there and we're going to do some great work, but also raise some great money, right? And look, there's only so much we can do in one day, right? And we're not all professional builders. But I think getting our hands dirty and getting in there and doing something is going to be fun. And then afterwards, we can have a big celebration, invite the community along, and all have a bit of fun as well.
Oh, and the way these guys do it, the community be there with you. Right? So they don't sit back and watch you do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I
They
love that. But I think one of the things is there's different levels of, when it comes to charity. You got someone knocking your door, you give them a little bit of money, but then you've got the B1G1 where you're actually doing impacts. And then you got the next level where you actually get in there and do something. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's going to be a very life-changing experience for a lot of people, including myself.
Without a doubt. And I mean, you can look at Sai here, right? Look, and you notice the smile. It's got an amazing smile. Yet, faced with things that are going on in over there that, others would not do that. And
You got
there's a
perfect teeth.
gentleness.
You've got a great dentist, say you've got the perfect teeth.
And
if you like, I will take you to prisons. Any of you, if you want,
Okay,
actually take you out at the end of the day. But I think it would be interesting as well to, probably not hundreds of you would be able to go in at once, but
yes,
for
I
those
understand that, of course.
interested in the work, we'll be able to expose you what is the condition like, and I think like how hard we and the government actually work together to improve the conditions. And I think not that credit ourselves alone, but we without the government and partner and local community, we're unable to do what we want. And without B1G1 communities, we're unable to do what we want to see change the community either. So we all equally contribute in different ways to make
you're amazing
country.
And look, I think this is all part of building a better world, isn't it? Right? And it's all about everyone chipping in, and I love it. It's the way to do it because I can see with B1G1 what you're doing. This is an active thing where the community's involved. You're not just saying, here you go, take this. You're actually communicating. And I think that's important because no point giving them something they don't want or need either.
That's also true.
Yeah, because a lot of charities in the past, they said, we know better. We're going to give you this. And I heard there's a lot of stuff that they did in the old days in Africa and things like that where it just didn't work.
These guys are very heavy on the community involvement. Yeah.
And if I may, I just want to kind of do some of the the impacts that B1G1 community have had, and how we as a development actor amplify what you put in as a capital. So of course, consultation with the communities, and each of the investment actually directly contribute to a safer. This I'm talking about the school infrastructure improvement, right? Like every brick you make the donation through B1G1 platform. So it directly contribute to a safer, healthier, and more structured learning environments. Say gates and fences of the school improve the safety and school management, like toilets and hand washing areas, strengthen the hygiene and student well-being. So like dormitories, increase access for students traveling from remote area, and even like waste structure in the schools, support a proper sanitation and environmental health in general. So the way we approach is really community-driven. And why it's important? When we actively engage parents and community members through like both financial contribution and labor, this create genuinely a shared ownership responsibility for maintenance and care ongoing after we leave. I think one example that my team recently this morning gave me was that we use the money from Buy One Give One to build this entrance, the gate.
The gate. Yeah, we saw the
right?
gate. Yeah.
Yep. The entrance gate. Yep.
So we use the money from Buy One Give One is $1,500 to be precise, and the total cost of the gate is 5,000. Where
Yep.
are the 3,500 come from? It's come from community who raised the
Oh, wow.
money.
Wow.
And now that is like financially contributed from the community. This does not include the labor and times that people engage
Wow.
in
Okay.
this one small
That
project.
makes a big difference, because then people really appreciate and respect it when they're contributing as well. And I think
Yeah.
that balance is fantastic. But Cambodia, with its history, Pol Pot didn't like education and killed people that wore glasses that were smart. It really destroyed a lot of the whole infrastructure of schools and teachers and everything else. So it's extra important in Cambodia to be able to get people educated as well, isn't it?
That's definitely, yeah. And I think we do this with the community, we do this with local authority, and we really transparent the way we do and open the book in the school to get to that level. It's not easy. So when we work closely with them, when we engage parents in the school development, teacher and school managers and school principals actually open the book, like how much money received from the government, how much money community contributed, how monthly, reporting process. And it's quite transparent. And I think we credit to our team on the ground who make this happen, because
You're amazing.
That's fantastic. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, when local communities engage, you can see things change, and level of accountability and transparency is there. And when we leave, I'm proud to say that for the past year, we work with 45 schools in Siem Reap alone, just only in Siem Reap. Now, like through support from B1G1 community, they are fully like sustainable. So we don't have to carry hands and working with them on a daily basis. And really, they come to us, consult, hey, how can we make this proposal stronger to submit it to like local companies and
Got it.
like that. So like we supporting in a more technical support rather than a day-to-day as we did before. So we fully we have a clear intro and exit strategy. So it's normally a 3 years project from each school, and the most vulnerable school, rural, high dropout, low enrollment rate, low promotion rate, and we turn it to lowest dropout, highest enrollment, highest promotion to the next grade. So this is what we are not choosing the next, Paul and some of you part of the trip before, you go
exactly.
to very rural, very dusty roads, and you experience cycling to the schools as well. So we're not choosing those that close to the paved road and through difficult, really tough schools that we choose to work with and change it. And some of them become #1 in the province.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So good. And notice, we started earlier today, right, by talking about, we create joy and stuff. And, you mentioned, George, you mentioned size teeth, and we frequently see them. And that's because, of course, they see joy in doing what they do. It's so amazing. It absolutely is amazing.
Absolutely.
Love what we do, but also at the same time, knowing there's a lot of peoples out there behind us and support us, like this community,
Well, look, we're behind you, and we're growing a community, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting.
Very good.
Now, last time I was in Cambodia, we were at the markets, and Christina tried a tarantula. So I think who's keen to try a tarantula? Because you guys love tarantulas there, don't you? Do you eat tarantulas?
You eat tarantula spiders, Si? I've never seen you eat one.
I do.
Oh, you do? I've never seen you do that. There you go.
Yeah, communities that are going up is where they sell a lot of those. So
So we're gonna have to have initiation for everyone.
Well, there's a
I
lot
think
of
so,
cricket
yeah.
as well.
right? And we're going to have to get a big wok, fry up all these tarantulas and have them as an appetizer. They're quite nice, actually. They're quite crunchy. They're not too bad. I don't mind them.
So, Sai, Masami, by the way, said hello to you and to say hi to you. And of course, all of us here in B1G1 are just so thrilled to be able to do this with
Thank
you.
you.
And equally, we are so thrilled to have a community like George has to be there doing all of this stuff day in, day out, just like you do. It's a wonderful kind of a beautiful circle. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's really great. And Sai, you are just one of the best ambassadors, I think, about what happens when you really start to do great things as well. So thank you so
Yep.
much for
And,
being
and I'll
there.
keep
It's just
in
awesome.
touch over the year as we
Definitely.
plan our trip to get the dates and everything right. That'd be great. Thank you so much for joining us. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. Thank you very much, and we'd love to catch up again very soon.
We're going to see
Appreciate
you in
all the
person next
support.
year, Sai. We're going to be seeing you. Okay? Don't worry about that. Cheers.
All
Thank you.
right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, Sai.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I'll quick share our member wins for the week. Real results. Let's go have a look. The real results. Okay, look at this. Philip Belmere. He settled in 2019, 325,000. Current value, $690,000. Current profit, $370,000 profit. Over 1,000% return in his investment. And Carlos bought his property in 2019 for $406,000. Now it's worth $929,000. He's made over $522,000 just on that property, 1,300 return on his investment. Okay, now this is the yacht. Have a look at these pictures. It's even got a little platform out the back. Now, you can see the picture on the left. It looks a little bit old and untidy. They're actually renovating it before our event in October. So it's all going to be brand new when we go on it. So it's going to be great.
There you go. Wow, so good. And some good
Yeah.
numbers too.
That was exciting. It's been really good. I think it's very exciting to be able to give back, because I think our members, they work hard to invest and they've got legacy because they're investing not just for themselves, but their children's future. Because at the moment, there's no properties under $1 million in the capital city. If you're a first homeowner, you're finished. And luckily, the people in our program, they can actually invest, help their children invest as well.
There you go. Yeah.
Because with the legacy, but not only that, now what we can do as a group is also help people in Cambodia and give back, which is the next part, the next step, which is exciting.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And it adds significantly. I think at some point we all need this little extra bit of, George, what I think is that some people kind of put their head on the pillow at night and they go, is that all there is? And and when you see what's happening here, you really get that that's not all there is. There's other
more.
stuff.
There's more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
what you said there about head on the pillow, I like that because I think what we want to do in life is we want to build a life where when you look in the mirror, you look at yourself and think, you know what? I'm proud to be this person. I'm a good person.
there you go. There you
And
go.
when you go to sleep at night, you think, you know what? I feel good about myself. And I think part of that is really being congruent to your values
Absolutely.
and not compromising. And then the other part is that whole, let's not just make money for ourselves, but help other people become successful. And,
Yep.
part of, I suppose, when I retired in my 30s from property, and I thought that was my goal. And all I did is I partied, traveled, had a lot of fun. And after years of that, I got bored. There was no value in it at all because things that you value are hard. Easy things are not that valuable. They're not that great. And then I decided that I was going to do something bigger than myself, which is start positive property and help people invest. And then the natural evolution now has gone on with B1G1, where we can give back as well on top of that, which is so exciting. And the beautiful part is the people in our program can join. And what I love about B1G1, it makes it easy to contribute. And that's part of it because sometimes it's hard to know you're making a difference. And your whole way of B1G1 and the impacts is great.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. That is very, very lovely. And if any of you wanted to go a little deeper on that, you'll see a link there, and ask all the questions you want, all that sort of stuff. So it's George, this is something that we don't do that often, and I'm so glad that we had the opportunity because we're busy doing so many other things. But it's
Yep.
it's very lovely of you to invite us to share some ideas, and hopefully, this is one of those things that we started talking about moments. Remember earlier on, and
Yep.
hopefully this is one of those moments where you go, "Whoa, that's kind of cool." And George, look out for some stuff from Masani and the team on the family program as well. I think that's something you guys are going to absolutely love as well.
Awesome. I love it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Paul, for coming on board. And thanks for starting B1G1. I love it. And
Thank
great
you.
to see you. And hopefully, if I'm in Singapore and you're in Australia, we catch up in person again.
You got that. You got that. I just need to work around this half an hour thing with Adelaide, George. The time shift, it just works. I just can't get it. But anyway, so thank you everybody for having me. Thanks, George.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I'll see you guys next Thursday night. Bye-bye.
You got it. Bye.